The soil is cold under your fingers. Not frozen, but cold. The sun is out, the calendar says go, but that dirt tells a different story. You're holding a seed packet, looking at a bare patch of earth, and you're waiting. You're always waiting. For the last frost date. For a guarantee. That's the trap. You're surrendering control to a forecast, wasting weeks of growing season, delaying your own food because you're afraid of a single cold night. Stop waiting. Frost isn't the enemy. Waiting is. The real work isn't avoiding risk. It's building a system that eats risk for breakfast. Your goal isn't to ask if it's safe to plant. Your goal is to make it safe. So let's build a buffer. The first one is simple, direct, and stupidly effective. The personal bubble. A cloche. It's a miniature greenhouse for a single plant. You trap solar heat, you block the wind, you stop a light frost dead. Your materials are everywhere. A plastic milk jug with the bottom cut off. A large glass jar. A clear storage container turned upside down. You're not buying specialty gear. You're repurposing literal garbage into a life support system. Place it over a transplant, or sow seeds right under it. Secure it so the wind won't take it. Here's the surprise. That jug isn't just shielding the plant. It's warming the soil significantly. The sun beats down, the air inside heats up, the earth soaks it in. Your plant's roots get a head start in a microclimate you built from trash. You look ridiculous. You'll also have lettuce 3 weeks before your neighbor who's still waiting. But you can't cloche an entire garden. That's where you scale up, so you've got a few plants under cover. Good. Now protect the whole row. The blanket fort. A floating row cover. This is a lightweight fabric you drape over an entire bed. It's an insulating blanket that raises the temperature underneath by several degrees. It creates a consistent microclimate. Forget protecting one plant. You're now managing an ecosystem. The fabric is key. Spun-bonded polyester Agribon. Get the 1.5 ounce weight for frost protection. The half-ounce stuff is for bugs. You need hoops, wire, PVC, even bent branches. Keep the fabric off the leaves. Drape it over. Secure the edges tight. Bury them with soil. Use staples. Use rocks. No gaps. The wind will find every single one. Here's the consequence of waiting. For every week of growth you lose staring at a calendar, you forfeit a week of harvest on the back end. That's a direct trade. Your patience costs you food. The surprise? This isn't just a frost shield. It's a growth accelerator. It blocks wind. It confuses pests. Your plants under there are living in a near ideal bubble you built, often outperforming anything planted later in the open. You're not just avoiding frost. You're manufacturing a growing season. But you're still vulnerable. The cover protects from above. The wind comes from the side. It steals heat you've worked so hard to trap. A 5-mile-an-hour wind can make 40 degrees feel like freezing. Your plants feel that too. So you build a windbreak, a buffer against the steel, a temporary fence of snow fencing, or burlap stretched between posts, a line of straw bales, even a trellis with some old fabric pinned to it. Position it on the windward side of your bed. That's where the weather comes from. You're not just planting a garden anymore. You're doing environmental engineering. You're shaping the space. Then you add thermal mass. Dark-colored stones placed in the bed, jugs of water painted black. They sit there all day, soaking up the sun's heat like a battery. At night, they release it. Slowly. Radiating warmth into your little microclimate. It's a buffer against the temperature drop. You're stacking buffers now. Cloche, row cover, windbreak, thermal mass. You're not hoping for the best. You're building the best. Now use it. Stop thinking about one planting day. That's a single point of failure. a massive, unbuffered risk. Think staggered launch. Succession planting into managed risk. Plant a third of your crop 4 weeks before the frost date under heavy protection. Cloches and thick row covers. Plant another third 2 weeks before under lighter covers. Plant the final third after the frost date as your backup. You've just spread your risk across time. You've guaranteed a continuous harvest. Monitor. Use a soil thermometer. Harden off plants by lifting covers on mild days. Your schedule is based on the plant's growth and the forecast, not a circled date. The surprise? That earliest, most protected planting, it becomes your strongest. It establishes roots in cool, moist soil. When the warmth finally comes, it explodes. You're not a gardener waiting for permission. You're a producer managing a season. So look at that forecast again. The one with the dipping line for overnight lows. The reactive gardener sees that line and decides to wait. They put the seed packets back in the drawer. They surrender. You see that same line and you make a different decision. You decide which combination of buffers to deploy. The cloche for the tomatoes, the row cover for the greens, the windbreak for the east bed. You are not asking the weather for permission. You are imposing a climate. That is the identity shift, from gardener to producer. Your goal is no longer to avoid plant loss. Your goal is to leverage every single growing day the sun gives you. That is how you build food security. It's the principle of stacking buffers, not just in your pantry, not just in your finances, but in the dirt under your feet. Redundancy, resilience. You ensure a single point of failure. A frost, a pest, a heat wave cannot derail your production. Remember that bare soil from the beginning? Cold under your fingers? It is not a symbol of limitation anymore. It is a blank canvas. And you are the one who controls the climate painted on it. The anxiety of waiting is gone, replaced by calm agency. You have a toolkit. You have a strategy. The frost was never the enemy. The waiting was. And you have just removed waiting from the equation. You are not helpless. You are ready.